PLSQL Cursor and its types. In this lesson, we are going to learn an important concept in PLSQL. We are going to learn about cursors. Let's discuss the cursor and its usage. Here is the definition of a cursor. A cursor is used to process individual rows returned by the database system for a query. Now let's discuss this in detail. Generally, in Oracle, every SQL statement executed by the Oracle server has a private area. This area contains information about that SQL statement and the set of data returned by the statement. In PLSQL, a cursor is assigned a specific SQL area for a specific SQL statement. For example, if you create a cursor for a simple select statement, the server allocates a specific area for that statement. So the result of the statement is stored in that particular area. There are two types of cursors. They are explicit cursor and implicit cursor. Here we will discuss the explicit cursor. The explicit cursor is like a select statement. It stores the result set of the select statement. This type of cursor is declared in the declaration section and used in the execution section. There are three commands used to process a cursor. They are open, fetch, and close. Let's discuss these commands. First, let's see how to declare a cursor. A cursor must be declared in the declaration section before it is used in the execution section. Here is the syntax for declaring a cursor. In this syntax, cursor is a key word. Cursor name specifies the name of the cursor to be created. Declaration. Here we can declare input variables to the cursor. Is a key word. In the select statement, we can select a set of rows. There, I hope everyone understands cursor syntax. Now we will see the different ways of creating a cursor. We can create a cursor in three ways. Here we are going to see each type. First, we are going to create a cursor without an input parameter. See this cursor declaration. Here we have declared a cursor named Details Cursor without an input parameter. This cursor selects all the rows from the table Details into its area. Let's see our cursor creation with the input parameter. This cursor is created with the name Details Cursor 1, and it accepts one input value of number type. In the select statement, we have selected the name from the table Details for the roll number given by the user. Now we are going to discuss the cursor declaration with the return option. Here, cursor Details Cursor 2 is created with an input parameter, and it returns some values. We have used some new variables over here. We will discuss these variables shortly. Here we have learned the three different ways of creating a cursor. We will see how to use this cursor in our program in the next section. Let's see how to open a cursor. A cursor must be opened in the executable section. For this, we need to use the command open. We can fetch data from the cursor only after opening it. Here's the syntax for opening a cursor. Open, cursor name, argument, argument. Here, open is a key word. Cursor name is the name of the cursor. Arguments. Well, here we can give input parameters to the cursor. Let's see the list of operations carried out by the open process. First, it determines an execution plan of the cursor. Then, it associates variables and parameters in the SQL statements of the cursor. Then, it determines the set result for the SQL statement. And last, it sets the current row pointer to the first row in the result set. Now, let's see how to fetch the data from an explicit cursor. A fetch statement is used to fetch the data from a cursor to a local variable. To retrieve all the records from the result set, every row must be fetched to the local variable. And now we will see the syntax for the fetch command. Fetch cursor name into record or variable list. Here, fetch and into are key words. Cursor name is the name of the cursor as declared and opened. Record or variable list specifies the local variables, where we want to store data from the cursor. And finally, we are going to see how to close an explicit cursor. In the cursor body, we can do any operations. After finishing the operations, the cursor must be closed using the close command. Here is the syntax for closing an explicit cursor. Close cursor name. Here, cursor name is the name of the cursor. The main reason for closing a cursor is to release the SQL private area used by that cursor. Here is an example of an explicit cursor. In the declaration section, we declared a variable sal as number type, and a cursor named SS is also declared to select a row from the table details whose employee number is 10. After this, the cursor variable readVal is created as a row type variable, so it holds the values of that row. In the executable section, the cursor is opened and the value of the cursor is fetched into the variable readVal. Then the salary column is manipulated. Finally, the cursor is closed. In this lesson, we have discussed the cursor and the creation of an explicit cursor. We will discuss the implicit cursor creation and its usage in the upcoming lesson.